Hello, welcome back to my channel. We're going to do a book review. Some of these are I've read two of these. Two of these are ones that I've read, and the other ones are what's on deck for me. The rest of this month in October, after that, I'll move into more Christmas stuff, probably. I still have my Christmas Chronicles book that I didn't really get into last year, but these are all Halloween-esque themed books, so I will show you the two that I have actually read this month. It was doing pretty good. And I'll show you what's on deck and kind of my thoughts. If that sounds interesting, stick around. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. If you're not new, I always appreciate you being here, and let's jump in. Okay. I was in kind of a reading slump. I hadn't read in a hot minute. I was having trouble with depression and anxiety. I think all the stuff, all the kids' activities, the stress with the stuff at the house. We've had issues with vehicles. I ended up going back on Lexapro. I took it for a decade, from 20 to 30. Haven't had to use anything in 10 years. It was time to go back. So I've been feeling better. So I've actually gotten back into reading. So I've read these two books in the last 2 weeks or so. So doing pretty good. So let's just jump in. So the first one that I read is Hour of the Pumpkin Queen. I talked about the first book last year. The first book is just Pumpkin Queen, the Pumpkin Queen. This is going to be a series. There's supposed to be at least one more. They may do a fourth one. The lady's not really sure, but the third book is slated to come out next year sometime. So keep an eye out for that. I got this through Amazon. It popped up right when this launched and dropped, whatever you want to call it, released in July. So it's been out for a little while, but it does end on a little bit of a cliffhanger. So like I said, the third book's already slated, and the authors have said they may do a fourth one. There's one lady's name on here, but I think she co-authors with another lady. I'm not really sure. These Disney ones, there's like 3 or 4 or 5 people that write these books. My favorite one was one that I read last year called Rise of the Horseman. Ichabod Crane, Headless Horseman book. It's not this author. It was Serena something or other. If I can remember, I will link that down below. I liked her writing style the best. This lady is Megan Shepherd. It's not terrible. I was able to read this in 2 days. I pretty much read the whole book on a Saturday. I read like the first 4 chapters Friday night, and then Saturday, instead of scrolling on my phone anytime the kids weren't doing anything, I just read. So I ended up reading the rest of it on Saturday. So not her writing style. Once you get into it, it picks up, what was this, 361 pages. So not terribly long. I feel like both of these, the first 4 or 5 chapters were a little bit slow. Once you got past that point, it picked up. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, if you are interested in these, it is becoming a series. So there's that. I would show you the first book, but we packed up a bunch of our stuff. So all of my books that I've read are in boxes. I have a cabinet in our bedroom that has all of my unread books, but anything that was not in there got packed up. So I was going to put these together on a shelf and display them for Halloween, and the first one is in a box. So I can't do that, but I did read this. It's enjoyable. Like I said, if I was to compare like the Disney authors, I do like the lady that wrote Rise of the Horseman. Her writing style the best, but this lady's good, and obviously I read it in 2 days, so it wasn't that bad. And then the other book that I read, I got this off of Thrift Books. This is Richie Tankersley Cusick. So I read Trick or Treat. This is one of those point books. This is on the same level of like a Fear Street, but it's not a Fear Street. There was a bunch of authors that did books like these in the 90s. So very nostalgic, very 90s. I never read this one when I was in high school. I do remember seeing the cover. Girl moves into a haunted house where there was a murder, like weird stuff happens. She's, blended family. So there's a new stepbrother there. So a very 90s feel. Again, I read this maybe 3 days, 4 days. I feel like I was reading this a little bit slower. The print is really small. I was thinking that this was the same length as like a Fear Street book, because I feel like these are relatively short. Yeah, most of these are like 150. I think the most pages I've ever seen in a Fear Street was like 178. This, I was like, oh, it's the same length. No, this was like 290. 209, excuse me. So this is pretty long, and the print is small. So at night, like I was like, I'm 40, so my eyes, you would think my glasses are up to date, but yeah, this was really small print. And again, it took me a couple of chapters to get into it, but it was really good. And again, it made me very reminiscent of being in high school, very 90s. This was really good. If you've never read this one, I recommend. I know when I did my thrift book haul, a couple people told me they read this one when they were in high school and really liked it. It's really good. So recommend. I think I got this on Thrift Books for under $5. So good deal. And then we'll talk about the 3 books that are on deck. So in the same vein of Hour of the Pumpkin Queen, this is one of the Twisted Tales. So it's one of the Disney ones, like the villain ones that they've done. And again, there's multiple people that write those books. I think I at one point thought it was all that they were all the same author, but they're not. This is Mari Mancusi. I don't know if she writes all of them. I have no idea. I've never really gotten into the Disney like villain books, but I know like Rise of the Horseman is in this line, but that's a different author, because like I said, I'm pretty sure that lady was Serena something or other. But this book, it's called Sally's Lament, Lament. It's a twisted tale. So this is from the perspective that what if Sally had discovered Christmas Town instead of Jack? I bought this book last year and I haven't read it. I'm kind of on the fence how I feel about the concept. It's 346 pages, so it's longer, a little bit longer than the Pumpkin Queen ones. I don't know, like this is one that I may just keep. I don't know if I'm going to get around to this or not. I'm probably going to read these other 2 first, because like I said, I'm kind of on the fence with the concept. That's why I never really got into the Disney villain ones. But it's interesting. This is one that, because we're getting into Christmas Town, I'll read these 2 first and then probably read this one after, just because this could kind of segue into Christmas. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. And then try and read the Christmas Chronicle book. But I have this. So this exists if this is something that you are interested in. You can get these through Barnes & Noble. Again, I'm pretty sure I ordered this on Amazon. It doesn't have a thrift book sticker on it, so I'm pretty sure I got it through Amazon. I feel like the books sometimes are a little cheaper on Amazon, especially for the newer ones. This has been out for a while. Like Hour of the Pumpkin Queen was $15, so this should be around the same price point. Like I said, it's been out for a while. It has 18 on the cover, but Amazon will generally mark their books down, especially if they've been out for a while. So the other 2 that I have, this is the one I want to read next. I haven't started it. I just poked my bookmark in there. This is a Fear Street one. This is Halloween Party. This is obviously a new cover. The original cover, I think, was a girl standing at a doorway, possibly, but that described like 5 Fear Street books. I never read this one when I was in high school. I remember seeing it. I bought Halloween Night, which is a Fear Street book. I bought 1 and 2. Those I read when I was in high school. And I actually started reading Halloween Night because I was like, oh, you know, I read that in high school. I'm not going to remember the book. I didn't even get through the full first chapter and I remembered who the killer was. So needless to say, those I just keep for nostalgia purposes. I won't be reading those because I remembered who the killer was. I can't remember what I ate for breakfast, but I can remember who the killer was in a book that I read almost 25 years ago. But Again, takes place on Halloween. What is the plot of this? The invitation arrived in a black bordered envelope and was delivered by the beautiful and mysterious transfer student. The inside showed a coffin with the inscription, "Reserved for you, perfect for an all-night Halloween party in an old house on Fear Street." The party was well underway when the lights went out. That's to be expected at a Halloween party. But when the lights came back on, there was a boy on the floor with a knife in his back. Just a Halloween prank? Maybe, maybe not. Now the gas trick-or-treating has turned to terror, and it looks like someone's idea of party games are murder. But yeah, this is like 150 pages, so it's super short. The print isn't quite as small as this one. So this one, theoretically, I could probably read in an evening, but I have that one. And then this is another point book. It's not the same author as Trick or Treat, but it's in the same vein. This is called Mirror Mirror. Again, I got this through Thrift Books also. I, again, never read this one when I was in high school. I do remember the cover. This, let's see. Dory's pretty. She's got a good-looking guy, very understanding parents, devoted boyfriend, but she wants more. So when her new friend Lucy offers Dory a chance to have it all, she decides to take it. Now Dory's a real beauty, and only Dory knows the beauty is also the beast. So thought I might give that a try. But yeah, those are the books that are on deck. And then I also have a book that I got, I think through the publisher, but I found it on TikTok. It's a murder mystery type book, like thriller-esque, but it's a book advent calendar. So you're supposed to read a chapter a day for 25 days. It's meant to be read like that. So I don't remember if I've showed that on camera or not. I'll show that probably with the Sally's laminate again, and then the Christmas Chronicle book when I get into my next set after we get through like Halloween. So because I will be reading that too. I bought it after Christmas and had planned on saving it just because I thought that was a really cool concept for an advent calendar. So if you have readers in your life, it might be a good thing to gift them before the holidays. But yeah, I will pull it out. It's upstairs in my cabinet, but I will pull that out because like I said, I'm thinking I'll probably save Sally's laminate for after Halloween because it'll kind of segue into Christmas, and then I can try and read the Christmas Chronicles after. I'm really like, that's a book that I've owned on and off for 20 years and have never read it. So I'm trying. I think I got maybe 7 chapters into it last year, and that was as far as I got. So that's happened before. I've done that with other books, gone back and read the whole thing later. So the hope is not lost, but that's where I'm at with those. But I'm just glad I've kind of gotten back into reading. So this is the Halloween party will be the next book that I read. But thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If you have any book recommendations, please leave them down below. I generally stick to horror. I have read some science fiction and I will do some fantasy, but so if you have any good books that you've read, please leave them down below. It doesn't matter what the genre is. I am open-minded. I will broaden my horizons a little bit if I need to. So thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye, everybody.